Hi. One of the terms that I hear a lot nowadays is the term called mastermind. It's a word that seems to be thrown out a lot. And so this segment, this program, is to talk about what a mastermind is and to get a better definition of just what is this mastermind thing. What makes a group a mastermind group? Because there's a lot of groups out there. And why are so many groups that are called mastermind groups, yet they implement the mastermind principles kind of inefficiently and ineffectively? So I'm Sylvia Henderson. I'm founder of the Idea Success Network, co-founder of Idea Mind Teams, which is a mastermind concept, as well as the host of Idea Success TV that you're watching now. And I've had over 20 years of corporate experience in corporate leadership where I've been transforming ideas to action with my employees, and now I'm doing that with entrepreneurs and with companies in my own business. So when I looked up mastermind, and you can look this up on the internet, the prominent name, the creator of mastermind groups is Napoleon Hill. Now, he's back in the 20s and 30s, but he wrote a book back then that is a steadfast, constantly referenced, many times reprinted book called Think and Grow Rich. I think many people have heard of it. However, I'm surprised at how many people haven't. So I want you to see the covers. They come in many other shapes and sizes, but they have the same messages in them. So Think and Grow Rich, and everything I talk about from here on in this program will be related to that book. So chapter 10 of Think and Grow Rich is dedicated to the power of the master mind, and they separate it into two words, although we usually use it in one word. And so I'm going to read to you a few segments of chapter 10 because they're going to tell you the principles of a mastermind and where the whole concept started. So in chapter 10, Napoleon Hill says that plans, if we're action people, we're implementers, we're entrepreneurs, so we're doers. So Napoleon Hill says plans are inert and useless without the sufficient power to translate them to action. Hello. Power is defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. Now, some of this wording is a little bit antiquated because he wrote it back in the 30s, but I'm going to tell you at the end how to get this book in an ebook form from my website. So he goes on to say, power may be required if power is organized knowledge. Let's examine the sources of this knowledge. So the sources of organized knowledge for power that we gain is infinite intelligence, meaning we're really, really smart. Accumulated experience, meaning we're lifelong, we've experienced things over our lives, so we get smart from our experiences. And through experiment and research, we look it up. We learn about it in school, whatever. Examining these three sources of knowledge readily discloses the difficulty an individual would have if, this is key, if, he says he a lot, because it's, again, in the 30s. So translate he, she, they, however you want to say that. So readily discloses the difficulty an individual would have if we depended upon our efforts alone, being us alone, in assembling knowledge and expressing it through definite plans in terms of action. If our plans are comprehensive, and if we contemplate large proportions of those plans, we must generally get other people to cooperate with us before we can inject our plans into the necessary element of power. Really weird way to say, we need other people. We need other people to add to our intelligence in order to actually implement our ideas and get other people on board with our ideas. I'm going to cut a lot of this out for sake of time, but I really wanted you to know where the mastermind principle came from originally. So Napoleon Hill says the master mind may be defined as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Those key words are frequently where mastermind groups that profess to be such groups fall down. So the attainment of knowledge, translate that, the coordination of knowledge, translate coordination of knowledge, translate that into many people in a group, typically a small group, 5 to 8 to 12 people. Many people share their knowledge, share their experiences, share their insights. That's coordination of knowledge and effort. In a spirit of harmony, so that means within the group, everyone who participates in the group has a shared sense of values, that we're in harmony, that we are all engaged and there to help each other. That's kind of the spirit of harmony. We're not there to everybody get but nobody give kind of a thing. So that's that piece of the statement. Between 2 or more people, I already said, in a small group of 5, 8 to 12 people, ideally, for the attainment of a definite purpose. So that is, in a business mastermind, we're all there to learn, to share, to grow our own respective businesses. So we're there for our own individual needs to grow our businesses, but we're using the power of each other. And everyone in the room is kind of serving as that third mind. And I hear that term a lot too. So a mastermind is really serving as our third mind. We're getting out of our own minds from working alone, and we're in this group, this mastermind group. Because the term is thrown around so much, you hear me talk about mind teams, or idea mind team. Well, that's a platform of mastermind programs that I and a co-founder, Josh Silverstone, have put together, and we're sharing with entrepreneurs around the country and eventually around the world to create a true mastermind, plus provide some other benefits of being a part of such a group. That's another whole topic, another whole show, and you can learn more about Idea Mind Teams at our website, and this may not pop up on the screen, that's okay. Idea Mind Team, name of the group.com. You can learn more about that from that website, ideamindteam.com. But to come back to answering the question, or back to the question and wrapping it up, I asked in the beginning, what's a mastermind? Answered that. What makes a group a mastermind group? I answered that in the Napoleon Hill's principles. Why are so many groups called masterminds, yet they implement the principles ineffectively? Well, I was trying to figure out how to turn these words around to something positive, because I believe in positive words. However, for the sake of time, I'm just going to identify some of the characteristics of groups that don't work, and for you to think about whether you join our mind teams or whether you create your own. These are some things you want to make sure that you think about before you do that. And so, frequently, groups are too big. You know, people call mastermind groups thousands of people in a room. That's not a mastermind group. So groups are too large. There's coaching that takes place instead of sharing. In a mastermind group, we share. There's no coaching involved. There are lack of systems and processes so that the group process goes smoothly. There's a lack of facilitation. There's not a facilitator, so it feels unorganized and inconsistent. There's little member commitment, few shared values of success. Remember I said that Napoleon Hill says, in the spirit of harmony. Those are the shared principles. Here's a couple more, and then I'll close. It's a perceived waste of time. How many times have you been a part of a group that professes to, we're going to tackle business, and then we find out after an hour that it's a waste of time, of our time? So there's perceived lack of value, perceived waste of time. Another thing that doesn't work well is that the group devolves, especially if it's a business group. The group devolves into just a social thing. We just talk all about social in our personal lives, and we don't really get to business. And then I'll just say there's kind of a lack of learning taking place. So true learning, they don't tackle something that feeds our minds as well as feeds our hearts. and a lack of accountability and a follow-up. These are characteristics that make mastermind groups or professed mastermind groups ineffective. And so I'll conclude with what's a mastermind and what's the value of it. I went through following Napoleon Hill's mastermind principles, and some high-powered, high-worth men at that time formed the first mastermind group. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, I can't remember all of the, here we go, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, John Burroughs. These are all men who back then were some of the richest people in the world, formed with Napoleon Hill to create the first mastermind group. So to learn more about this, like I said, I gave you ideamindteam.com as a website to go to for a resource. You can also connect with me. You're going to be throwing several websites at you at once. If you like what I shared with you here, you can connect with me at, here comes another website, sylviahenderson.com, which is my name.com, to get more like what you got here, to engage with me, and to allow me to transform your ideas into action and, more importantly, income. And with that, I invite you to make a great day.